Hey everybody, welcome to Climb the Ladder for episode 160, presented by Washed Up Network. I'm your co-host Hunter, and filling in for Duncan this week is one of our best friends, the one and only Ben Sharman. Thank you to everybody who's been tuning in each week. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Plus, you can see two of the same face when you head over to YouTube, and this week you can see our special guest, Ben. Make sure you visit thegreatpnw.com and use code CLIMB20 for 20% off your order. As always, let's climb the ladder.
Sounds good.
Well, Ben, sounds good. Here you are. Thanks for jumping on in Duncan's absence this week. And
I got big shoes to fill, you know?
Yeah. Well, you don't look like me, but I think you'll get the job done.
Let's hope so.
So yeah, it's just kind of be a little bit of kind of an everything episode, which is pretty much anytime we're together.
That's true.
So yeah, nothing to prep for, nothing to stress over, but just chopping it up. Start the episode with a little cheers for the people on YouTube.
Cheers, buddy.
2 fingers of whiskey, maybe a little more.
Half glass, yeah.
Yeah, half glass. Well, I have a nice little. You rocking scotch? I was trying to decide what to pour tonight, so I went with the scotch.
Good call.
I know that's usually your go-to.
9 times out of 10, yeah, usually.
Yeah. Well, I do have a segment for us at the end where we'll get into some eats and drinks, so we'll save that.
Solid.
But gotta start out with the ends. Just sounds like we're beating the drum here, and it's just same old. I don't know how close you've been following it, but whether you've been following it from the first 10 games of the season or the first 100 games of the season, which is where we are right now, the Mariners have had over a dozen times this season where they've had a 500 record.
Wow.
So I saw a graphic earlier today, and I won't go try to find it, but I think it was like 12 to 15 times this season that they've had even wins with even losses. So they've been at 500. And on a handful of the last episodes over these last 2 months, they've been right at 500. And that's just what Duncan and I keep saying.
They never move. They always sit right at 500. The back of the season, though, it's very questionable. As we know from, being Mariners fans for so long, it could be 50-50. Let's hope that this is finally the year. One day we're going to say it, right? Oh, this is the year. They're going to go to the series. If we keep saying it, it might happen. Who knows? But let's really hope this is the year. I mean, even looking early on in the season, for all the sports bettors out there, I mean, their odds were pretty long. I mean, it was I think it was 20,000 to 1 or 30,000 to 1 or something like that. And I mean, that's just an insane spread. And then as you get a month or two into the season, it cut to 4,000. And I was like,
oh yeah,
that's insane. I mean, how do the odds change that quickly for the M's? I mean, maybe the guys running stats are thinking, well, we'll just undercut it because it could get there at some point. But it's insane. The Mariners are the only team, I think, that have never made it to the series.
Yeah. I mean, pretty close. And just to crack into the playoffs last year was big enough in itself. So as of this episode, it's July 26th. Last year, the beginning of August is when the Mariners went on a run. So right now we're 4th place in the AL West, and we're actually 2 games over 500. So we're 52-50. Mm-hmm. And we were as awesome as last season finished with getting to host the first playoff game in 20 years, all that stuff. We were in the same exact spot at this same time at the end of July last year as we are right now, middle of the pack. We're a half game out of 3rd place to the Angels in the AL West. Mm-hmm. And in the next month, well, really the next 3 weeks, but the next month, really, we'll see if we're going to be a playoff contender or not to even crack the top 3 for the wild card spot. So it's just crazy to think that we were in the same exact position last year, hovering around 500, and then we went on a 14-game winning streak.
Yeah. And then hopefully we don't make the same mistake as last year. So
yeah. So we'll see. It's just a lot could happen right now, even though it doesn't look good. And if anybody has heard Dunk and I talk lately, it has not looked good. So we're hoping we can get propelled out of the All-Star break. Here's one for you. I saw. So Luis Castillo, he's our ace. He's our number one guy. And as a pitcher yourself, here's some stats for you. I'm not going to go hard numbers on it, but so he has under a 3 ERA in 22 starts this season.
Wow.
Guess how many wins he has?
7.
6.
Oh,
6
look at that.
wins.
So close.
Yeah. 6 wins as of last night on the 25th. He has 6 wins in 22 starts with a sub 3 ERA. That doesn't line up.
You should think doesn't make sense there.
Somebody with that kind of a ratio of starts to wins should be like a 7 or 8 ERA. This guy is one of the best pitchers in the game right now, and somehow when he is leading the way, the M's can't find a way to take the win.
What do they do? Yank him too early, and then the saver just craps himself, or what?
I don't know. He's getting like 7 innings in a game. I saw also last night was the first time since 1991. So this goes hand in hand with just this game specifically. First time since 1991 that the Mariners were playing a road game. They were down by 4 or more runs going into the 8th inning, and they won.
Wow.
Since 1991.
It's insane.
So if that's anything for us to turn our season around, we'll take it.
Yeah, being a Mariners fan is very interesting, as we all know from the PNW. We always want them to go far, but our expectations are always short-lived. But one year we might be surprised. Well, let's hope, Let's hope that we're not the outlier.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it. Okay, so with that, just got to throw it out there as a Mariners fan. I mean, you're baseball through and through. That's what your life was, and still kind of.
Sure. Oh yeah, dude. Ball game. That's one thing I'm really bummed about that we missed this summer, especially being back in Washington for the last 12 months. We never went to a Mariners game. We never had a chance. I know the season's still going, but I mean,
yeah.
Why am I going to fly home for an M's game? I mean,
yeah.
Nah.
I know. Man, by the time you do it, you're like, oh, I'll snag a $10 ticket. And then you leave and you're like, how was that a $200 night?
Well, yeah. I mean, the move is you do the nosebleeds and you hang out in the beer garden for a while.
Yeah.
You know how clogged up that gets. So
yeah. So whether or not you make it to Safeco for the rest of this season, where do you think the M's final prediction out of 162 games? What are they going to do with it?
Well, am I honest or am I positive with this? I don't know. That's a really.
We have enough analytics trying to figure it out. You can just go for it.
Realistically, I think with the way that the Mariners have been running this season, I think they definitely have a good shot. I mean, we all know that. I mean, they've been doing pretty good. I think for some reason the back half of the season always kills us, and something's going to happen where we're just going to miss it just barely. We always miss the cut by just enough. I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll just have to see. I mean, these are all games that, obviously haven't been played yet, and we have no idea what the outcomes are. So we'll go game by game, and, if we keep going and keep winning, great, maybe that'll change. But it's all going to be in the books. It's going to depend on how well we hit, how well we pitch, and, if we can run up the scoreboard. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah. Well, to put this in perspective, just for a quick numbers thing, we've hit 90 wins each of the last 2 seasons. Last year we made the playoffs, and the year before we did not. So out of 162 games, what do you think we'll finish for the win column?
So the last 2 seasons were how many wins?
We hit 90 wins. 2 years ago we did not make the playoffs because there was that many close teams.
Gotcha.
And then last year we did.
I think we're going to have 102 wins. We're just going to barely squeak it from last season.
Okay. About to go on a tear according to Sharman over here.
Let's do it. Well, hey, early on I had to put something down on the Mariners because, They need to win at some point, so let's hope that comes through. I got the
Yeah.
Braves, which are killing it right now, so I hope they run it. And, 6 or 7 other teams that aren't doing too well, so I won't even bring them up. But,
Yeah, need me
let's hope.
to go.
Mariners and the Braves are the two I need to go.
Are you need
At
me
least
to
have a
go down
shot.
to the casino and go to the sports book?
No, I placed bets a long time ago. I mean, it was like before
Oh,
the season even started, like when the projections were wide. I mean, I was betting on teams that were like plus 80,000 just to see, hey, what happens. I mean, nothing huge. I mean, $20 here and there just to see if you can
yeah.
squeak a win. But hey,
Braves,
on an
Braves
eighty
could
thousand dollar
go.
spread or an 80 on a plus 80,000 spread on 20
Yeah,
bucks, I'll take 20K. Thank you.
yeah,
So I mean, we'll see what happens. Hey,
yeah,
you're consulting on the Super Bowl. Obviously, came out pretty well. You know, Eagles Chiefs bet on both of those, guaranteed win.
yeah.
So
You get a lock, and that was the key thing. There was that was before the playoffs started.
yeah, for sure. I think yeah, and it was a sweat too because I was watching every game, both Chiefs and Eagles, thinking, shit, man, this is going to be bad. I mean, I don't know, was it the Chiefs or the Eagles? I think it was the Chiefs, where their final game to go to the Super Bowl was like super tight. I was like, oh, this isn't going to happen. This isn't going to work
Yeah,
out. They
with the
pulled through, which
Bengals,
was
yeah, it
great.
came right down to a final play.
Yeah, and then the Eagles too. I mean, during the Super Bowl, they were killing it. And I was like, oh, sweet, I'm getting max payout here. And then I got
Yeah,
shafted. So, I mean, money's money, right? Win's a win, but just sucks to undercut maximum value. So, oh
yeah,
well. I don't sports bet for a living, thank God.
yeah. Pretty wild. Well, um, we will go a little bit out of baseball and just talk about what you've been up to because it's been a little while since you've been on. We were kind of talking about the Buddies episode right before this. I know you've been on a couple of those, but I
Yeah.
think you missed the last one. And I was remote for that one, so it was all the guys around the table at Dunk's house.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
I remember that.
but got to catch the people up on what you've been up to, and I think I can intro this one for you. You bought a house.
We did. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been a long 12 months. Last time everybody heard from me, I think we were actually in the basement last time we did the buddies thing. So that was quite some time ago. I think a couple of years ago, actually. Um, my wife and I decided to make a financial decision to move back to Washington to kind of live near family, to kind of save some money and have the ability to come back out to the Idaho area with all the guys. We did end up just buying a house. We closed last Friday. We moved in on Saturday. And so far, so good. Things have been going well. It's always good to be back with the dudes. We've always wanted to be back here in the Boise-ish area. And it's just going to be a good ride going forward. So we're looking forward to it and hope that things go well for everybody else and, all the different things they're doing in life. So does everybody know your situation, or is that not been made yet?
With the kid.
Yeah, just want to make
Yeah.
sure I'm not jumping the gun. Okay, so good example, right? Both Hunter and Duncan having kids. I'm not in
Fair,
that.
safe question.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to have to cut the whole segment because I was being, an idiot. Yeah, we're all in different stages of life, but it's all good to, be where we are. We're all on our own track, and I just hope that we'll all be able to still come together consistently and just have bro sessions and,
Yeah, talk
have
about
fun.
growing
So,
up. I can't believe how
yeah.
fast like life post college is just flying.
Dude, our 10-year comes up, what, not next year, the year after, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I think you have to plan that, so add that to the
Yeah,
books.
I'll be in there.
We're all going
Yeah,
to
it's
Vegas.
I don't know. It's wild. I can't believe it. With buying your house, there's always stories that come out of it. I know the moving truck was one, but what
Oh,
would you
dude.
say is like one or two highlights and one or two just definitely like I can't believe we made it past that, but it almost hit the fan.
Oh God, that's a good question. Well, I think probably the number one thing, I think it was the hardest thing with moving in. Number one, Trevor and Kyle were two total MVPs. So taking a step back here, the whole plan for us was we were supposed to finish everything up in Ellensburg, where my parents' rental is, where we had all of our stuff staged. That was supposed to take place on Friday. And then we were supposed to leave for the Boise area on Saturday morning and then just do the whole drive that morning. Get there to town about 3 or 4. Okay. Well, being married, we know that decision probably didn't happen, right? That was my idea. So we know that out the window. The wife decides, hey, after work on Friday, let's do half the trip. It'll be a 4-hour drive. We'll go to Pendleton. I said, I don't really want to do that. I'm pretty gassed. Plus, I was driving a freaking semi truck. This thing was massive, like the
Yeah,
biggest
how
thing I've
big
ever
was
driven in
it?
my life. It's a 26-foot mover.
Can you
It was just
believe that they'll
insane.
just hand the keys to somebody? Like, did you have a debriefing or anything?
Well, of course, with me, right? I picked the Bothell Home Depot to pick this thing up at. We have two, how do I put this? Dipshit high school kids who are the ones dishing out the keys to people. And I assumed it was like a standard, U-Haul, right? Just it's bigger. So I didn't think there'd be anything different. It's just a bigger vehicle. Well, lo and behold, this thing's way different because it's diesel. It has air brakes, not disc brakes like normal, so
Oh
that was kind
man.
of different. The integrated Jake brake was kind of nice though, because when you're going downhill, it automatically kicks in and the engine brakes for you. So that was kind
Oh,
of cool.
automatically? There you go.
Yeah, it was automatic. So anywho, now taking kind of a step that way as well. Driving home with that, I don't know if you know, but the WD down in Duval was closed, so
No.
we couldn't go back through Bothell like WD. We had to go a different way. So I thought, well, maybe we'll just go through Carnation, right? We'll go through Redmond, hit Carnation, go over to Tolt Hill, call it good there. Well, there was no direct route to Carnation besides through downtown Redmond, so I literally drove this massive truck through Redmond. I was like, well, this sucks. So that was a fun experience. Now fast forward to Ellensburg. I'll get our stuff loaded up. We're good to go. Brooke says, "Hey, let's take off tonight." So we leave. We made it to Pendleton by about 9:30 p.m., which was awesome. Made pretty good time. And then she's like, "All right, we'll leave at like 8 tomorrow morning." So I said, "Oh, sweet, get some sleep." Well, sure enough, 4:30 rolls around. She's like, "All right, get up, let's go." I'm like, "Jesus Christ, what are we doing? What's going on?" She's like, "No, we're up, let's go." And I was like, "All right." So we left at like 5 in the morning and ended up rolling into Nampa at
Man.
like 10:30 a.m., which was way ahead of schedule from anybody. So texted Trevor, Kyle, even you, and said, "Hey, just so you guys know, we're here. No rush, but we're here." Kyle, an absolute MVP, dude. The guy's like, "I'm on the way." I'm like, wow, all right. The dude rolls in, looks like he literally rolled out of bed. Like, "I'm here." I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right.
Oh man.
So the dude shows up at like 10:30 and he's helping move till like 5. I mean, and we know this kid, right? He has live, breathe, die the buddies, man. If he needs you or if you need him, he's
Oh
there.
yeah.
But of course, we picked the hottest day of the year to move. So this guy is literally
I
dying of
think
heat
that was a
exhaustion.
record breaker for Boise history.
Probably. And also, I had to, when we moved out the first time, we picked the same hottest day for all you poor
Oh.
guys to come move. So, that sucked. But anyway, Kyle's helping out. I really did not want the kid to die on my behalf, and thank God he didn't. But I mean, we all felt like we were going to die. It was just so hot. And I was shocked. And we filled that 26-footer. It was full. I'm like, how do we have so much crap? It's nuts.
Man.
So anyway, we get into about halfway through the truck and we have this huge, like 15 drawer solid oak dresser that's going to go upstairs. And so Kyle's like, "Damn, this thing's heavy." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So we were pushing it up the stairs with me, Kyle, and Trevor, and the thing almost fell on us. We had to put it straight up and down like this. And
Oh.
Trevor's on the back end trying to steer it, and Kyle's behind me trying to hold it up, and I go to adjust, and the thing starts to tilt, and Kyle's like, "Doo, doo, 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 doo," and he tries to catch it. Thank God he did, but almost killed me, so that was fun.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, I mean, that was a pain in the ass to move. I'm pretty sure that was the hardest thing ever, especially with how the stairs are. They have like the hairpin turn that go upstairs.
Yeah.
That sucked. The mattress was bad. The safe wasn't too bad. You helped me with that, so that was fine. But
That
I
went
think,
better than I thought for a safe, like
yeah,
it's not a tiny safe, what is it, a 12 or
it's a 12
14 gun?
gun. Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean it's still good
decent
size.
size. It's like 350 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah. Yeah, and we made that happen.
Yeah, and it worked out. And you know, I always say, I mean, I am very blessed to have the wife that I do because she's so go 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 on things. Just like let's get it done. Because I'm not always the kind of guy who likes to just go 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 and get it done. But in the long run, it helps. I mean, if we didn't get there at the time we did and we didn't start unpacking when we did, we'd probably be half a week to a week behind. So
Yeah.
glad we did that, and now I can kind of start settling in at the back of the week and kind of start getting things going. But there's just so much to buy in your first house. I mean, no matter where you live, it's
Oh
just
yeah. Even
the
when
laundry list extends.
like I found out, even like you go outside and like wash your car or water the plants, I was like, I don't even have a hose like attachment, like a
Yeah.
sprayer.
hmm
I'm like, where do you get that? You just have to like go get one at the hardware store,
That's
But
usually where you
like,
get those, the hardware store. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess now where do I get it
Where do you get
exactly?
it?
But
More
like,
like, yeah,
you
I
know,
get what
like
you're
of
saying.
course you have like a screwdriver and you have like wrenches or whatever.
That's
But
one thing I forgot was
oh
I brought my
no.
entire toolbox, and oh, dude, I busted open the toolbox. The one thing missing, a damn screwdriver. So I called Kyle. Hey,
No
dude,
way.
yeah, bring a screwdriver. It's like, all right, I brings a whole set from Costco. Here you go, dude. Oh, sick. So that helped out. And I guess too,
Oh
another
man.
struggle was the couch. The couch kind of sucked. We ended up shoving that through the door about 4 or 5 times trying to get it through.
Oh
Finally went, but it was a hard one. So that
yeah.
sucked.
Man, that's tough. Well, what's one of the biggest things that you're looking forward to now that your name's on the title, you signed your life away, you went through all the stack of papers. What's one thing that hey, you're there, you're home. What are you looking forward to?
I think honestly, the one thing I'm looking forward to is just making it my place. I mean, just being able to be comfortable and finally in a place that I can kind of call home. Aside from obviously when we were kids, our parents' home was
Yeah,
home. But if you remember right too, like when we first moved out here to Boise after college, and you guys said, "Hey, come out to Boise. It's a super fun time." So we moved. I did the math the other day. We moved 5 times in 4 years.
yeah,
This is our fifth
that's
move in a four
wild.
year period, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing that again. So
Yeah.
if the house burns down, I'm burning down with it. I'm not moving again. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, that
So
won't happen, but I mean, yeah, can't agree with you more. Like to have your first home, and Ben's not just saying like, "Oh, we found like a little place." Like this guy got a full grown-up family house for his first one.
to say it humbly, it's a good starter home. That's all I'll say. I mean, I know people are gonna be on the contrary and say other things, but I'll say it humbly. It's a good starter home.
Brand new development. I mean, yeah, ready to
Yeah,
call it
it's
home.
it's a good spot. The thing is though too, I mean, where we ended up, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like I have the ability to host people, but as you know, the drive out there or out here, it's a little far. It's not horrible. It's like driving from Carnation to like Redmond or Crossroads, I guess, kind of
Yeah,
sorta, from an example from being home. Um, but at the same time too, I don't feel obligated where like if people are in town, like, hey, show up. Like I'm not in that realm where like downtown Boise you have a crew of guys together. Let's go to so and so's house. That's Duncan's place. Like we'll be in Boise, we'll
yeah,
go to Duncan's. Not, hey, we're in Boise, let's drive up to Ben's place. Because that would
yeah,
be way out of the way. So,
yeah.
but
But
yeah, no, I
also,
mean,
hey, then you're not gonna have a bunch of people's cars left at your house and people just, I don't know, slumped all over.
that is true. We do have plenty of room for slumpers, but you don't want to fill the whole house with
Which is probably
slumpers.
good. It's a twofold because if you
Yeah.
host, everybody can just crash. You have that front room. I mean, that'd be a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah, it'd be great. I have nothing against having to do like once the backyard's done, the sprinklers are in, the fence is done, like once the house is actually, I would say, habitable. I mean, it is now, but it's not really hostable at the moment. The backyard's still
That's fair.
graded. We don't have a
Well,
fence in,
and when
that kind
it
of
cools
stuff.
off this spring, and then spring's also a really good time to like plant grass and everything, you'll be in good
Yeah.
shape.
I was thinking probably, I know it's probably a little bit against the contrary, but I thought probably planting grass like in the fall might not be a bad idea. But again, thinking coming into winter, it might kick the bucket before winter.
Well,
So
fall, they say fall and spring are the best. So you could hit fall and you just got to douse it with water and it would really
yeah.
catch before winter.
Well, even like my front yard here, I mean, when I first moved in, the builders gave me a rundown and said, hey, water your lawn 3 times a day for 10 minutes a day. And I was like, that's nothing, especially with being 100 degrees
Yeah.
outside. Like, are you trying to come back and redo my front yard? So
Right.
I decided, we were gone, right? We moved into the house and then we left to go grab our stuff from Washington. So we left the house vacant for like a week. And I came back, I was like, damn, I hope the grass isn't dead because I bumped the sprinklers up to 3 times a day for 25 minutes per cycle. So the
Oh,
water was,
yeah.
it was actually getting watered for like an hour and 10, hour and 15. And it ended up working out. I mean, the grass is still bright green out there, so good
Nice.
deal. But oh, did I tell you that Kyle cratered my grass when he showed up?
No. What
So,
was that?
so, so you know how like my approach to the front door is like the driveway, and then it's like a 90 to like the front
Yeah.
door, and right in front of it there's like about a foot and a half of gravel, then the grass. Well, Kyle had assumed that the grass was like fully planted, good to go, right? Like he was hopping the gravel into the grass, hoping, to save half a second. I don't know. Anyway, he hurdles the the gravel and lands in the soft, squishy sod because, it was still kind of
Oh,
developing. And the dude
yeah.
slides and does one of the deals. And I'm like, dude, what happens? Like, I cratered your grass. I look, there's literally like a 6-inch hole in the ground from where he
Oh
landed. And I was
no.
like, well, shit, what do I do now? So.
And it's not even like set up or anything. It's
Yeah, yeah, I'm like, let's just get some dirt in here and backfill it. I'm like, I mean, sure.
oh, just hosed it.
Yeah, it's like, bro. But,
Oh
it's chill.
man.
Not a big deal. It's not like the sod rolled up or anything. Like, it's still there, but it was hilarious that he
Yeah.
just basically cratered the grass. Poor
Oh
guy.
man. That's a good one. Man. Well, I was thinking with you being back in Boise, are you
Hmm.
back on the softball team?
Yeah, I actually am. So Duncan reached out to me and said that I think games are starting, and I think we actually have a game on Monday. But he's out of town, and I don't really feel up to playing yet. Like I want to get everything settled at the house first. So I told him I probably not available this week, but next week for games I'm in. And dude, I'm down to start running it again. It was so fun to get the guys together. I don't know, is it
Yeah.
co-ed or is it just a dudes league?
Is what?
Is it co-ed or just a dudes league?
No, this one's a dudes league. After
Oh,
the
sick.
the co-ed, we can never get enough gals to
Girls.
show up, and it's like, dude, the men's is so much more competitive too,
Oh
and
yeah.
the co-ed always seemed to only be on a Sunday, and you just
Yeah.
can't get people to play on a Sunday.
But dude, Pimpin' Walks was fun in co-ed though, man. It was great. That was the best. Crowd the plate, and then before the pitch even comes, you start walking to first base. It was awesome.
Oh yeah,
But
oh
yeah, no,
yeah,
I mean, the dudes league's a great time. I'm looking forward to that. So,
dude, yeah, that's good. I'll catch a couple games when I'm back in town.
are you
Um,
on the roster for that?
I think so, or I mean,
That's awesome.
like when I came in June, I got to play in two different games because I played on Duncan's team and I
Hmm.
played on the Tamarack Grove team.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I got to play the entirety of the Tamarack Grove team. I was the 10th guy, so that was
Nice.
cool.
That's
Um,
fire.
and I don't even think I was last in the order, which was cool.
Hey, last
That's
can
a
be
good
good,
one.
man. If you're last in the order and the bags are loaded, like the bottom of an inning, and you just fucking bomb
Yeah,
it. Oh, so good.
yeah. So, well, that's cool. I was wondering if you're going to be back. I mean, I know you fill in pitcher sometimes. I know you've gone over to first base, second base.
Hmm.
Um,
Kind of play the
so
utility.
yeah. So that's awesome. Dude, honestly, it's one of those things that you only get that feeling playing beer league softball, like
Yeah,
with
I
the
mean,
guys.
yes, it's competitive, which we like as dudes, but at the same time, like if you get just absolutely packed, like whatever. I mean, it's how it goes. You see beer league scores up to like 30 sometimes just because people just suck. And that's great. But,
Yeah.
it's just fun to get the guys together, especially on a nice warm night like in, August, September. Get a cooler full of beers, delete that by the second inning, and then now you're like, what do we drink? Like all that kind of stuff. It's a good
Yeah.
time. So,
That's the one thing that I mean, obviously I miss a lot of things about Boise, and we're talking about you moving there, and I mean, of course it's, as you describe all the things, like
yeah.
those are the things I miss too. But dude, in beer league softball, we can't even call it beer league softball because in both leagues that I've played in Washington, you can't have any alcohol on the premises.
No wonder it's a con. Gee, really?
Yeah. So like we'd usually like drink in the trucks in the parking lot, but like
Yeah.
in Boise, as long as you're not on the field or in the dugout, so you take one step outside of the dugout and you can have a beer.
But I thought you could have beer in the dugout in Boise, can't you? Or did they
Well,
change that?
like technically you take one step out the end of the dugout.
Oh, you can't be like sitting on the bench drinking. You have to be like out on
Yeah.
like the line, like by the foul, or the foul line, basically.
Yeah, but you literally like one step away and you can still
Mm,
lean over the fence.
gotcha.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can't even like bring a cooler up to the dugout and set it
Tough,
outside
man.
of it. Yeah. So that's one thing that like being with the guys with a cooler on a hot day and it just feels like baseball weather. That's
Yeah.
better than like watching a professional game any day.
Oh, dude. Yeah, tenfold. It's such a good time. And I mean, for like $40 a person just to go out there and, smack the ball around a bit, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, man, it was cool. We got to hit the Hawks game when I was there on the
Dude,
$2
I
Thirsty
know. The
Thursday.
Hawks game's fire. I love those.
Dude,
Yeah, so dude, if
those
you
are
come back at some point, or even if you're in town, right? I think for hockey season, I think that's what, like fall, winter is hockey season.
hockey
So
season.
Duncan gets, or you guys get the Hawks tickets through Tamarack, and I get the Steelheads tickets through Synoptek. So if you're in town and you want to go to a
That's
hockey
right.
game, we can get a bunch of dudes together on, I think it's Tuesday or Monday for dollar beers, and you can just slam those. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, dude. And then like
dude, such a
either
good time.
before or after, go find a bar and play some pool.
Oh,
Dude, I just found out Hannah's has free pool every night from
till like
like,
9 or something, right?
yeah, till 9. I'm like, dude, free pool. I'll go in there and get anything. Like, just
Yeah, dude,
go
bring
in.
Chris with you, hustle some guys.
Yeah. But dude, yeah,
So fun.
Steelheads is where it's at. Duncan and I cover them when it's in season for sure.
Oh, do you really?
That's a fun time. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll definitely take you up on the Synoptic tickets.
Good deal. Yeah, I'll have them for you for sure. I think we get
Yeah.
4 or 6, so we'll definitely be able to do that.
Man, that's a hookup. So
Yeah.
with being around, like going to the Hawks games, like playing softball, which I know it's totally different than your whole life of playing baseball. But do you ever like you're sitting in the dugout, you're standing on the field, do you ever get that feeling and you're like, man, I just miss baseball?
Yes and no. So there's two different parts to that. So, if you look back at like Little League baseball, right, where like your dad was coaching all of us, we were kind of getting up to speed, getting the guys together. You look back at that as adults, that kind of feels like, beer league kind of softball baseball. Because all it was is
kind, of,
having fun, right?
kind of the
You're just,
same feeling.
you're just smacking the ball around, you fall down, get hurt, whatever, it's fun time. But
Yeah.
from the competitive side, as we got older, into high school, I will still live and die to this day saying this is my junior year of high school was my absolute peak of baseball, but that's not necessarily a negative thing. I mean, I killed it my junior year. Like that was the year that like I shined as a baseball player. Senior year going into college obviously didn't work out. That's fine. Like God had plans for my life doing other things. So I'm okay with that. But being able to reminisce on some point in your life where for a fact you were at your absolute peak still feels really good. You feel like you've accomplished something and achieved something. So, that's kind of the yes aspect of this is I do kind of miss that feeling where, you're good at what you do. You have fun with what you do. You have a good camaraderie with the team. Those kind of things, of course, you miss. Now, having to run 4 or 5 miles a day because the coaches decide that half of practice is going to be conditioning, yeah, that sucks. No, thank you. But
Yeah.
that's any sport, right? I mean, that's just going to be a lot of it. So there's different stages of my life in baseball that I definitely miss. I think the little league side of it was great. Some of the high school side of it was great. Having some of the college prospecting there was great, but I am very happy with how my life turned out so far. I think that if I went the baseball route, my life would have been a lot different, and I am very content with how my life is now. So I do appreciate that baseball didn't work out. So, you know, everything has its positives for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I love that perspective. You can't go wrong right there. And it's like, hey, that was perfect for this chapter, but let's
Hmm.
close it. Let's give the opportunity for something else to open up. And even, like we never played men's league softball before.
Yeah,
And if that's where we can get out our competitiveness, like once a week with our best friends, like you get to
let's do
choose your
it.
team. We never got to choose our team truly,
Yeah,
and
we
now
never
it's like,
did.
hey, you get to choose who you're on the field with. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a time and a place. But yeah, I love that. Like it's almost meant to be captured in that time of life and
Hmm.
then move on from it to whatever's next.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I was talking to Brooke about this the other day, just with kind of how our careers are somewhat parallel at the moment. But I told her too, as far as my career goes, you ask Hunter, Duncan, Riston, anybody in high school, did you ever think I was going to do anything computer related? Of course not. Like that was not my track. You were like, this guy doesn't even know what a
Computer
computer
related.
is. There's no way. But, things change in college, and now that's the direction my career went. So, there's those pinnacle parts of your life where it just changes and it just works out. But you look at someone like Aaron, right? I mean, playing professional baseball, we all kind of knew that he definitely had the skills to do it and the drive to do it, and we're all glad he got there and is doing it. But that's what we see him doing. Like, I could never see
Yeah.
Aaron doing, a desk job like we do because that's just not what he is. That's not his thing.
Yeah.
And as we know with a lot of pro players, they go through their pro cycle. It's, probably pretty tough, I would think, for a pro guy to be in for like, 30 years, right? And like that's your career, and then what do? Work at McDonald's? No. But a lot of those guys become agents or scouts or other things like that. But I hope that he gets the maximum value out of his career because that's what he's doing. That's what he loves to do. So if he thrives through it and makes it to the show, then dude, that's going to be huge, especially for coming out of Duval and Carnation. Like I
Yeah.
don't think there's actually ever been anybody out of the Valley who's gone that far. So
No.
we're all rooting for him to do it, and he's good at what he does. So
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, you're
excited
right.
for that.
Yeah, time and a place, and I mean, people have their paths cut out to what they're truly meant to be doing, and I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's all a great point. I love
And I
that.
honestly, I'm really looking forward to the time I hear from Sue or Scott that Aaron got pulled up. Like I'm stoked for that. I hope that
Yeah,
happens because even just seeing him in the draft was cool. Like I'd love to be able to see him play,
yeah, that was cool.
for the show. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, yeah,
So banking on it, but we'll see how it
yeah.
goes.
And as much as I kind of posed the question, like, do you miss baseball? Like, yeah,
Hmm.
we all miss it to a certain extent, but I think also we could say, like, I know for me, I miss that time of life for
Yeah.
certain reasons, like the kind of like young and dumb, and we don't have to have it all figured out. Whereas, like,
Hmm.
now we're talking about buying houses, like, we
Yeah.
feel like we have to have it figured out. So then we miss like that part of it. Like, I don't miss the running 5 miles a day. Like, we ran more than the track practice did in baseball practice.
Yeah.
But for so many other reasons, like cages at 235, like boom, like you're
Sharman's
there.
house. Here we go. Well, I
Yeah.
guess 345. The 345 start
Oh
was when
yeah.
one showed
The
up my place.
345 was go, maybe take a dip in the hot tub, throw in a pan of pizza rolls.
Yep. Merc a whole box of taquitos before practice.
Yeah, just lava on the way as we're
Hot, hot,
racing
hot,
back down to
hot.
the field.
Oh yeah. So,
I
but that's
mean,
the thing. Such good times, man. You look back on that, and like, would you ever replace that for anything? Hell no. Like, I would take
no.
that tenfold. But now you take me back and say, would I want to go back and do anything different if I knew that my life was going to be in the same track? Like, would I,
Right.
would I go back and do baseball the exact same way if anything was going to be different? Like, if I'm not going to get the life that I'm in, would I do it again? Like, of course not. Like, I
Yeah.
love the life that I'm in. I wouldn't change anything.
Right.
It all
Like,
happened for a reason. So,
yeah, wouldn't do it over, and it happened exactly the way that it was supposed to happen.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, I love that. Well, I think we got to get into one segment that I know that we both love and can definitely relate to. I'm sure you've had some good stuff being in the house, being back in the Boise Treasure Valley area this week. We're
For
gonna go with
sure.
the hit the spot segment. So in the
Oh,
last week ish, what has hit the spot? It could be food, it could be drink, it could be whatever you want it to be. It could, a combo, a meal.
whatever.
Go for it.
Solid. Well, I can definitely say the one thing, um, you know, obviously, as you know, when you buy a home, you just have to have some sort of culinary skill. There is not McDonald's every night because number one, you need
True.
3,000 pounds. Number two, your wallet's empty. So, as you also know, my dad's got a decent amount of I wouldn't say expertise, culinary skill to hand down to me so that way Brooke and I can actually eat somewhat healthy and not be 5 trillion pounds eating McDonald's every night. So, the last few nights I've made food at home, and I hope to continue to do that, every day of the week, hopefully. But the other night I made BLTs, and dude, they were like literally the
Oh,
best thing I've ever had. Like they were so
that's
good.
what
They were
I'm
actually
talking
BLT
about.
melts. But I think I sent you guys pictures of it too because it just looks so like perfect. Oh
Yeah, so
God.
from outside in, like, what are we working with? Like sourdough, wheat,
Dude,
white.
just simple ingredients, man. I don't know what it was. I mean, I just think it worked out. But I just went to the store and got the little, like, white bread. Like it's like, that big, just a really small one. And just
Yeah,
got a pack of bacon. Lettuce, tomato. I got the smaller tomatoes though, not like the big ones, just kind of
nice.
the
I think
nice
the
sweet
smaller
ones.
ones have a little more flavor too.
They do. So I cut those nice and thin. I use shreds instead of the actual like chopped lettuce, so that actually worked out well. But one thing I don't know if anyone really knows, but usually when you do that grilled cheese, you use butter on both sides, right, to get it grilled.
Oh yeah.
Use mayo instead. If you use mayo on
Really?
the outside, yeah, not a ton of it, just enough to just cover the bread, just so it kind of gets
Interesting.
golden brown. But yeah, if you do both sides with mayo and then fry it in like a medium pan for like 4 to 6 minutes and then flip it,
Wow.
dude, it comes out perfect. And then obviously add some Swiss cheese or whatever you want on that. Dude, it was so good.
Yeah.
When you come to town, I'll have to make it for you. It's so good.
I mean, I'm there for it. Like you don't have to beg me to try that one.
That's true.
What's your tip on the flip so that it all stays intact as you flip?
So the easiest way to do that is when you put the sandwich down, especially if you're doing cheese, put the cheese side down first. Like so, you build it and it's like
Okay.
bread and then cheese. When you turn it over, put cheese down first so it melts faster. So that way when you go to flip it, most things stay together. You still have the lettuce and the tomato
Oh.
on the bottom that might slide out, which I had happen. I had one blow out, but you don't have to flip a sloppy sandwich. You flip one that's kind of stuck together. So there's that,
Yeah.
or you can kind of do you know, the odd method where you scoop it with a spatula and then turn the pan upside down and put it on top of it, and then both hands go over, and then that way you don't blow it out. But that's
Okay.
kind of the weak way of doing it. If you're not good in the kitchen, then you kind of do it that way. But either way works, not
I
a big
see
deal.
that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping to cook a lot more actually. Like I really do enjoy cooking for sure, especially things I'm good at cooking. Obviously, I don't know what it is, but like, Duncan's wife, Mandy, loves the burgers that I make. They're frozen from Costco. Like, there's nothing special, but she loves them. She's like, oh my God, Ben's
Dude,
burgers are great. I'm like,
good
I'm
stuff.
glad you like them, but they're just frozen burgers.
Yeah, right?
So I don't know if it's the seasoning I use or just how often I cook them. I don't know what it is, but there's something there.
Dude, I mean, my go-to is the Costco frozen patties
Oh,
with
dude,
a
like the
little bit
pack
of
of 60
pepper.
of them or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They're so
You
good.
you grind some fresh peppercorns on there
Oh
and
yeah.
some Johnnies. I mean, you're
Johnny's is
set.
the hit, man. So good.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go for hit the spot. I'm gonna have to hit it with pad thai because
Oh,
I
dude,
feel
good
like
one.
we can relate to that. And I know that's not a home thing,
It's
but
not, but it's still great.
I mean, like dig back in the memory bank. But I remember when we were walking through Redmond Town Center, like the outdoor mall, and we're
Yep.
like, man, where should we go? Just, I think we
Thai
both said
ginger,
pad
dude.
thai at the same time. Yeah, Thai
Yeah.
ginger can't go wrong. So we got it in all places. Went up to Bellevue to meet for dinner, and
Nice.
dude, I
So
I
good.
usually try to change it up, like try to be well versed at restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's Thai food, 100% of the time I will get chicken pad Thai.
For sure. Shrimp pad thai is also great if it's a
I was
reputable
gonna say,
spot. I
yeah.
wouldn't say get chicken or don't get shrimp pad thai from some like hole in the wall place that looks like it's, about to burn down.
I
I think
think
that's
I
probably a
think
bad
only if
idea.
you've been
But
there before and you've kind of done the welfare check of like,
so good example of that. And I know out of all places you're thinking, why does this place have good Thai food? In Ellensburg, so tell your sister this if she's needing a hankering for Thai food, because she knows she's over there. Um, there's a place in Ellensburg, either on like Third or Fifth Street. It's a super ghetto little spot. I used to get Thai there probably once a week when I was in college. They give you like the foam takeout containers, like the big
oh,
ones.
so you
It's
know it's
like
good.
it's like 9.50, and the thing's like 5 pounds. It's fat,
Whoa.
and you bust it open. You're like, God damn, I can't finish this. But I mean, I would murder that in college. I would just kill it all in one sitting. It was so good.
Oh yeah.
Super super saucy. Like not the dry crap. It was like wet noodles, really good chicken. The peanut sauce was fire. Brooke always thought it smelled like dog food, which I don't know how she got that. I kind of get it. I mean, Thai food has kind of that like unique scent, but
Yeah.
dude, oh, it was so good. I mean, if you're in Ellensburg with your sister, go try it out. It's so good.
I might have to. I mean, it's also like the ambiance when you walk into a place and you're
Oh,
like,
dude, if the place isn't covered in flies, you don't want that, man.
yeah,
The
you're
flies is
like,
where it's
I
at.
don't really know if this would pass the food inspection,
So you
so
know
it's
it's
probably
good.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, man,
Oh, jeez.
I mean, what else can you say? Like everything from mediocre Mariners baseball to buying a house to
Mediocre Mariners
getting pad
baseball.
thai. Thanks for coming on, man. I don't want to keep you all night, but
Oh, you're good. Hey,
um,
dude, when it's bro time, the time's unlimited, man. There is no stopgap to that. You're
yeah.
good.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming over to help break in the house a little bit more. I only had one Colorado Kool-Aid over there with you, but many more.
Colorado Kool-Aid. That's a good one. I've never heard that before. That's a good one.
Well, thanks,
Yeah,
man.
good times.
Appreciate it as always.
Anytime.
All right, man. Take care.
Thanks, dude. You too.